presiding officer constitutes a complaint against an employee or officer, the presiding officer will interrupt and ask you to stop and direct you to proceed with the BISD's formal grievance procedures, be that DGBA, FNG, or GF local. With those cautions in mind, we will now be glad to hear the general comments.
Pat, we're going to allow 35 minutes public audience. I think that's 5 minutes, not going to hurt us any. With that, then, also, before we start, please know that Mr. Colunga came in and
Yes,
the
sir.
time
Yes,
noted. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hector Gonzales.
Good evening. I'm Hector Gonzales, and I served as your superintendent of schools. I am here this evening for two reasons. First, to thank this community, and second, to clear the air on some issues concerning my ongoing employment status with the Brownsville Independent School District. I would like to thank the community of Brownsville for allowing me to serve them. I have served the BISD in its community since September of 1998 in numerous capacities. I have been superintendent twice, first in the 2000-2001 school year, and again from July of 2006 until my recent dismissal. I have also served as area superintendent for schools, assistant superintendent for human resources, and assistant superintendent for operations. I have always received excellent evaluations from my supervisors and or the Board of Trustees. However, I'm not here to speak about that. First, I am here to congratulate the students, past and present, for achieving excellent results in their endeavors and activities, including academics, extracurricular, and co-curricular, as we saw here tonight. I would also like to thank the parents for supporting their children in an effort to achieve their goals. The teachers are to be commended for always giving 100% in order for students to achieve success. I would also like to thank all the support staff for their tireless efforts to support the district in order for students to achieve. We all know that if we work together, we can accomplish our optimum goal of student success. All the campus leaders are to be congratulated. They work tirelessly and endlessly in order for students to be successful. I am very proud of them, as I am of every employee, student, parent, and community member that have worked passionately and compassionately in order to achieve the success that we have obtained. I also want to say a word of thanks to the top-level administrators sitting here before me. I have worked side by side with you, and I know the efforts that you put forth every day. We have all worked together for one single purpose, and that is to ensure that every student has the opportunity to achieve their goal and be successful in life. I encourage you to stay with the initiatives and strategies we implemented. I know that if you stay the course, the students will be very successful. I also want to thank the board that worked with me. Your efforts are not forgotten. Without your support, the district would not have achieved the successes it did. Now for the second reason I am here. I would like to thank those individuals that have contacted me and offered their prayers, words of support, and encouragement throughout the difficult time in my career. First, let me state that I stand tall before you because I know that I have not done anything that would have warranted what I have endured. I have not violated any laws or policies. I have always worked passionately and compassionately for the betterment of the students of this district. I fully realized that I became a target. I knew that I would be in for a difficult time when a current board member informed me in September of 2008 that there was going to be a change in the board and that if I didn't play ball with them, I would be gone. I informed them that I don't play those kinds of games and he was free to do as he wanted. Again in October, an attorney told me if the elections turned out the way he thought, I better be ready to move on, as I was no longer going to be wanted. However, the clincher came when 2 board members came to my office and told me that they were very unhappy with me because I allowed a candidate that could run against one of them to use my picture in his campaign ad. He was referring to a public picture of Eli Broad and me holding the Broad Trophy with a board member in the background. There is much more, and it will soon come to light. The truth is, I never committed any criminal offense, violated any law or policy, nor did I harass anyone. As a matter of fact, none of the allegations against me had any merit whatsoever. One of the main reasons the board voted to terminate me was because I filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed after I was placed on administrative leave, and it was done so for the purpose of preserving my rights under the Whistleblower Act, as well as to stop the defamatory remarks being made against me. I reported to law enforcement authorities that I witnessed an illegal act by one of the current sitting board members. I also reported this act to the current school attorney, and it fell on deaf ears. As for the hearing examiner, I will never understand her ruling. She ignored any and all of the testimony presented on my behalf. As a matter of fact, if you read the closing arguments by the attorney representing the board, it appears that she merely cut and pasted his arguments and adopted her as her own. She will later have to answer as to her reasons for doing so. Nonetheless, the board voted to terminate my contract. I do not agree that they had a valid reason. As such, I followed the process that is afforded to me. I filed my appeal to the Commissioner of Education, Mr. Robert Scott. I am extremely, and I say extremely, disappointed in the Commissioner's ruling. He chose not to hear the appeal, but rather chose to dismiss it on a technicality. He states that I did not exhaust my administrative remedy because I did not present oral legal arguments before the board at the time the board voted to terminate my contract. That was a technical error on behalf of my former legal counsel. However, the process continues. Today, my attorney, Jeff Tillotson, a partner with Lynn, Tillotson, Picker, and Cox of Dallas, has filed an appeal to the Commissioner of Education for a rehearing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to go away. I will not go away. If I had done something wrong, I would not hesitate in walking away quietly. But I have not done anything that would warrant me doing so. I will continue to fight until justice is served. I read in the newspaper where a board member was quoted as saying that he had no choice but to vote the way he did because my attorney did not present any legal points at the time of my dismissal. Well, Mr. Board Member, if you are truly in favor of justice, pick up the phone, call the commissioner, and tell him to listen to the appeal, not to let an error obstruct justice. At this time, I am making available the brief that was submitted to the commissioner at my first appeal. The brief will be made available to the public. Pat, if you don't mind, I would like to give a copy of the brief to each board member. I don't want them to feel that they did not get first look.
Mr. Gonzales, you have 1 minute.
I have no problem. I'm through.
Oh,
I
okay,
just
thank
wanted
you, sir.
to. I'll make a little closing statement.
All right.
Feel free to share this with anywhere you so desire.
Okay.
I promise not to sue the Attorney General in order to protect it. I thank you for your attention. Have a good evening, and congratulations, students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Veronica Gonzales. Mrs. Veronica Gonzales.
Good Good evening. My name is Veronica Gonzales, and I'm just here to support my husband, Hector Gonzales.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Lucy